Hey everyone, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about why I left the content creator program with Kabam and a couple of other things as well. I want to give my honest take on Kabam and my experience with content creator program over the last year and a bit. And just be like super honest with it because there was definitely some good and some bad. And yeah, I just want to give a quick chat about that. So, as many of you've heard, I am not going to be making content anymore and going to be done with playing this game shortly. Once I finish 100k gems, we're going to do a big giveaway, have kind of a final stream, and that'll be it. So, quite a few reasons for that, and I'm going to talk about that in the future, in a future video. So we'll get into that later on. But today I want to talk specifically about my experience with Content Creator Program and Kabam. So they came to me when shortly after I first started making videos, like last May. So it's been a year and a half, probably a little less than that. And so I was like, yeah, that'd be sweet, whatever. So obviously I got in a couple of betas and had that exclusive reveal of Fusion and lots of cool stuff. Got to do some giveaways and stuff. And overall, my experience with Kabam was really good. I know that there's a lot of people that like to bring out the pitchforks anytime there's any updates or anything. But overall, honestly, my experience was really a positive one overall with Kabam. Now, there's definitely some other sides to that, but let me just say, first of all, I don't mean disrespect by any of this. I don't mean to put anyone down or put other people in an odd position. I just feel like it's fair for me to share my experience and the things that happened along the way. So, overall, my experience with Kabam itself, with staff members, with other content creators was extremely positive, and there's some phenomenal people in this community and on staff there. Um, Towards the beginning of my content creator journey, I guess, one of the staff members said, hey, we've got some other bigger games that Kabam has, and we've got some specific people who help with content creation, with how to market yourself, how to create videos, how to make thumbnails, all that stuff. And I had never made any videos before, so I was like, sweet, that would be amazing. I would love to. And so it was kind of more or less a promise, or them just saying, like, at some point in the future, we'd love to hook you up with them and, get you some time in front of them so that, your stuff can improve, right? So I'm like, sweet, that'd be awesome. And of course, I followed up with that a couple of times and said, is this still happening? Whatever. And in the end, it never happened. It was just an empty promise. But it doesn't really matter. It's fine. Things improved over time, and I just learned as I went, and it was all good. So fast forward a little bit. I had been playing the game for a long time, creating tons of content, and had streamed how many hundreds of hours and stuff. And I was bored with my main account and was starting a new account, an Iron Man account, back in like January. You guys know this. And so I had kind of finished with this main account that I've been playing since like June 2019. So a long time I've been playing this account, and decided that I wanted to do one where I had no access to market and was going to just play the game totally differently, right? No help from other players type thing. And so I came to them and said, "Hey, this is my plan." And they're like, "Hey, sweet, set me up with an account with no access to market, like ban me from market and all that stuff," which is something that I asked them to do, which was great and I totally appreciated. But in the end, I actually asked them, hey, like, I've already bought every worker in the game. I've paid for Royal Merchant. Like, I've already spent a couple $100 in this game, and I've made all this content, and, I'm starting this new account. Would you provide me with the paid workers so that I don't have to pay for all that again for this new account? And the only reason I'm doing it is to make content anyway. And they just said no, which I was like, okay, like, I understand it. You can't prioritize me over other people, whatever. I understood, but it was still frustrating for me to think, man, I've already spent hundreds of dollars. I've bought every paid worker, which in my opinion are way overpriced anyway. Like half them are the price of like a full new game, but whatever. Um, it is what it is. So I started a new account, and which by the way, you're not allowed to do, but they gave me permission, which is great, for the purpose of making content. And so I started this account and paid for all the workers all over again, and it ended up working out fine. I mean, it is what it is. I got to respect their decision in terms of them um, doing what they needed to do, right? After that, I actually requested another opportunity, I guess, to have exclusive content, because I was the one that got to show what Fusion was like and all that stuff, and it was amazing. We ended up getting like 7,000 views in 24 hours, and it was like my biggest spike of viewership ever because they promoted it and stuff. So I was really thankful for that. It was awesome. But I wanted to do it again, and they just never replied. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's not on the table. It's not going to happen, whatever. So that was totally fine. I left it alone. But I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I mean, I don't want to put down other content creators, but there's very few people with any following that create content for this game. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, it's a mobile game. Well, it's now on Steam, but it started as a mobile game. It's not an overly exciting game or a huge game, and it's probably never going to be. There's not a huge following for it or a massive player base. And that's totally fine. There is a few people who make content consistently for it, but I mean, if you look at the YouTube subscribers for the average creator for this game, it'll be like 20 subscribers, 40 subscribers, 60 or 70 subscribers, and nobody who creates content for this has any amount of following. Not to say that these people aren't amazing and super kind and have even been part of my community, and I mean, they're phenomenal people, and I'm not putting them down at all. But the reality is that I have, I mean, 80, 90 times the following of anyone else. If you even go to Twitch, I don't stream on Twitch ever. I did it for like a month or two, and just through like passive people finding my link, I have more followers on Twitch than I think everyone except for maybe two other people who stream Shop Titans, and I don't even stream over there and haven't for like a year. And so it's kind of frustrating to me where I feel like I really wanted support. I wanted them to hook me up with somebody to help me with content. I wanted to get exclusive reveals. I wanted to have things provided to me so that I could help them with their game. I mean, I've had countless people come to me and say, "Hey, I play Shop Titans and I do because of your content. You got me into it, or I still play because of you, or you know, you've really helped me and gave me motivation to keep playing, and I bought this because of you," or whatever. And honestly, in my mind, it's like if you go to YouTube for a game and there's somebody there who's competent, who's making consistent stuff that's good quality, that brings people into the game, that should bring value to the company. Whereas if you find a game and there's zero people that are making anything for it, it reduces the legitimacy of the game. So in my mind, I'm bringing value to the company, but I feel like the reciprocation of that value is very little. I actually went to Kabam months ago, probably more than 6 months ago, and said, like, hey, I haven't been employed for a while. I got laid off due to COVID, whatever. I've been making content for you guys consistently for like a year. Would you consider sponsoring me, at least providing some monetary value for me so that I can continue making content, hopefully increase the value that it brings to you, do it more consistently, and have a reason to do it, right? Like, I wrote this whole thing up. I submitted it to them. They acknowledged that I had submitted it. They had received it and said that they were going to talk it over. And I was trying to say, hey, I feel like I'm bringing value to you. I'm the only content creator that really has a following, other than like in terms of actual video content. I know that there's like websites and pages and whatever, but I'm saying like actual content, I'm really the only one in many ways that has any sort of following. And so I came to them saying, hey, would you be willing to put some money behind this so I can do it more consistently? They said that they received it, and I never heard anything back from them at all. And so in my mind, it was just like, nope, that's not going to happen. That's just a hard no. I mean, in my mind, I'm not expecting that I'm going to be a full-time content creator at any point ever in my life, and that's totally fine with me. I never started this channel with the intention in mind to become that. I started this because through Discord conversations, people were like, how are you doing this? You're ranked 13th in the world in net worth. That's crazy. You should show us what you do. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. So I started making videos and just figuring out how to do it, learn to edit, got software, got a full PC setup, spent a bunch of my own money to do it. And I mean, it's just been an awesome journey. We have such a cool community and have a lot of fun together. And I really enjoy doing this stuff. Like, I really do. Of course, my priority in life is changing, and it is what it is. I'm not going to be able to do it as consistently as I have in the past, and that's totally fine. But I guess in my mind, I'm just disappointed. Disappointed that there wasn't more support. Disappointed that there were empty promises that were never fulfilled on. Disappointed that I feel like I mean, one of the top content creators for this game from the very start for the last year and a half, and they didn't want to put anything behind me or support me to be able to continue doing that, or at least even provide a little bit because I was unemployed outside of my control through COVID and stuff. So, I mean, all that to say, I don't care. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to be playing anymore anyways, but just generally disappointing that they weren't willing to back me or even provide paid workers that doesn't cost them anything for an account so that I could keep making content. Um, so, I mean, yes, I think that the paid worker stuff and the prices on everything in game is kind of ridiculous compared to just like buying, a well rated full game for PC or otherwise, like, yeah, I think it's a little much, and I think that they don't do a good job of supporting the people who want to create content for them to begin with. But all that being said, I haven't had a bad experience with a staff member of Kabam. They've always been very kind and supportive and allowed me to be in content creator program and be part of beta and answered any requests that I had to like switch accounts or ban me from market when I asked them to, or whatever. Like, my experience itself wasn't bad, but I didn't feel as though I was appreciated or supported to the point that I would have wanted to be throughout this journey over the last year and a half of creating content for them. And I mean, obviously, I wasn't contracted by them. I wasn't technically creating content for them, but it turned out that I ended up really with being the only content creator in this entire game with any sort of following outside of the normal, couple hundred people who generally watch streams and videos and stuff. And I mean, of course, there's people like Rega and like Dana and like Stray and like so many others that have created really solid stuff and are super kind people. And don't get me wrong, I love them and they're phenomenal people, and I'm not trying to put them down at all, but just trying to communicate my experience and my disappointment with the lack of support from Kabam as a whole for the things that I was doing and the things that I desired to happen out of this. It is what it is. I'm not upset. Just wanted to voice what happened. So, all of that being said, and I know that's a lot to talk about, why did I quit content creator program? It wasn't because of that. I didn't leave out of frustration and saying this is stupid, I don't want to be part of this anymore. It wasn't that at all. It wasn't even like me saying I don't want to be part of this. It literally was just life's busy. I have 3 kids. I'm starting a new career. And I know that my journey of creating content for this game and in general is ending. I can feel it ending. My desire to do it and my time commitment to doing it is lessening. And sooner than later, I'm going to be done creating content anyways. And so it just makes sense that I dip out and just slowly decrease my involvement until our final day of creating content, which will be in a couple weeks or whenever it is, like around Christmas time. And so honestly, it wasn't out of frustration. It wasn't out of me not wanting to be part of it. It was just me wanting to, that just felt like the next step for me stepping back from creating content, from being involved with Kabam or involved with everything, so that I can make an easy transition out. And so it just felt like the natural next step for me, knowing that this is coming to a close at some point soon. Not any point of tension with Kabam, but just something that needed to happen as I move out of creating content. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Lots of stuff there. Sorry if I rambled too long, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight in what's going on with me. And in the future, I'll talk about why I'm actually quitting the game and what the giveaway will look like and all that stuff. But that'll come later on. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated. Much love. Talk soon.